We lit, Carly. Come on.
We lit. Hey, how you doing, Lex?
I'm doing good. So you just said my name, and we got to introduce ourselves for real now. So, Carly.
Oh.
Do you want people to know your whole name? My whole name's on the internet and on my Twitter and Instagram. So
my Twitter
but...
is actually my first and last. Like, it's like...
Oh, it is your name.
It's my actual name.
See, we have nothing to hide over here, so I guess that's a good thing to recognize early. We're not out here with the crazy names. Mm-hmm. Actually, oh man, I'm already going on a tangent. Shoot.
It's okay. Hit the tangent.
I was doing some work with a client, and we were doing a photo shoot. And for one of the models, I was like, oh, we're putting you in the story. You know, what's your name? And it was like, I'm going to change the name for recording purposes. It was like, Ashley Big Pussy at YouTube. And I was like, ooh, girl. Like, I was like, this is a corporate account. I can't be tagging you on the thing when your name's all ridiculous.
Dog,
but
that's like when people like sign up for a job or something with their email and it's like at Big Dog Nasty 69. Like, whoa. You should probably, or if you have a Hotmail or an AOL, I probably don't trust you.
Period. No, I do have a Yahoo. I used to offer junk mail, and it's from my old instant messenger name, which was Honey Blue Tigress. So if I have any junk thing, I use that, or like for points at the grocery store and all those kind of things, I use Honey Blue Tigress.
Where did you get that?
I don't know. I probably thought it was cute at the time. It was literally like maybe late middle school, high school. Those were the days where like you would be on AIM on Instant Messenger, and I'd always turn the sound off because if my dad heard that bling, then he'd be on. It was like, oh, who you talking to? And you know, it was filthy and crazy and ridiculous. So those were those days. But I was only like a mess online. Like I never was a mess in real life.
I can't say that.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
not like that type of mess, but I'm just grateful that we're the generation that we have social media and we've aged into it. I just praise God that things were like this, like weren't around whenever we were in middle school. Like, you know, middle school is miserable for everybody involved, but add social media on it.
I was homeschooled, so it would have been me chilling at home watching Reading Rainbow. Yeah, I was homeschooled. I was just homeschooled in middle school. That's why I was weird as hell in high school. I remember this girl in high school being like, why you always dress up every day? I used to wear dresses and like skirts. That was not cool. Oh my gosh, I have to show you my high school picture. Oh my gosh. Like I literally look better every year still from those days. So
I mean, the glow up is real. I think
it's so real.
We all do. Like
it's so real.
I was actually just looking at a picture from undergrad. I went to one of my Neo's weddings. A couple, like last month, I guess. And we were looking at pictures of us from undergrad. Like, we thought we were cute. Walking out the house like that.
Eyebrows thin, the big belts.
The glitter with the
and then being from the South, too. Like, I didn't even realize what fashion or, like, style was till I left North Carolina. And I was like, ooh. Now when I go home, I'm like, everybody looks so crazy. Everybody looks like them franchise boys right now. Like, in 2018.
You're from there, but Oklahoma is probably worse.
Yeah, probably. Okay, wait. We gotta backtrack because we're like getting up in all kind of stories. This is Carly.
Hey, yeah.
I'm Lex, and so my Twitter, Instagram, all that handle is Lextopia, LEX_TOPIA. If you want to talk to me about the show, Carly, give them your information.
Hey y'all, my Twitter is @CarlyCarpio, CarlieCarpio, and my Instagram is CCFierce, spelled correctly. No spaces.
Have you been seeing those videos of that man growling?
I have not. I try to avoid them on Twitter.
Oh gosh. Also, that could be a Nicki Minaj thing. Whatever. I'm not really a part of her group. What are they called? Barbies, the Barbs. I'm not a part of that group though. FYI. Just had to throw that out there.
Me neither.
So where are you from, Carly? Because we have an interesting kind of story. Like, I've only really known Carly for like a hot minute, but it feels like I've known you for longer. But just like, what's your deal? Like you mentioned Oklahoma. How'd you get from Oklahoma to here in Los Angeles?
Man, I'll try to keep a long story very short. I'm originally from Oklahoma, if y'all can't tell whenever I say y'all. But I was born in California, so I'm like, Ma, really? Like, was that a good idea? But then after moving back to LA as an adult, I'm really grateful that I was raised in Oklahoma. It's just a very different experience. And LA can be a lot sometimes, so I'm grateful for that. Raised in Oklahoma, went to undergrad at the University of Oklahoma in Oklahoma, worked as an engineer, lived in Dallas, Shout out to the Triple D. I love Dallas. That was amazing, but I wasn't really happy with my life. Like I was living, but I wasn't thriving. I was just kind of there. I was making good money, but I wasn't happy. And I knew I needed something different. So I decided to go to business school. And I originally planned to go to Barcelona for business school, but God had other plans. Mm-hmm. And I ended up at USC, Phi Dawn, graduated in 2017, decided to stay and pursue my business.
What type of engineer were you?
I was an engineer in construction, so I did project engineering. If you guys have ever flown out of DFW Airport, the train that comes in from the north, I built that, or I helped build that.
I was like, damn.
No, not
you
just
should
me.
be good. Her bank account healthy.
It was before business school. And then also all the terminal renovations. So if you were ever flying through a terminal and noticed like weird walls or pathways, those things.
Wait, so I know you for all the like holistic and wellness talk and training and all of that. So how did you get from business school to that? Because I didn't even know about the engineering really.
Exactly. And
or maybe I did and I was like, okay, but tell me about this mindfulness.
But everybody, when they're like, wait, you used to be an engineer? Mm-hmm. And not on like some, like, I'm not smart enough to do it, but that's just not my personality. It's like not who I am. I wanted to be an engineer to help people build their dreams. Like, I love the idea of being able to draw something on a napkin and then build it.
Now you're like a life engineer.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Connecting the dots.
Ding, ding. And I couldn't have planned it any better. So that's why I wanted to do that. And then I realized 3 years in, I was like, I'm really just padding some old white man's pockets. And I'm not comfortable with my life doing that. Like, I'm meant for more. But what does that even look like? I have a passion for health and wellness and inspiring people and helping them learn to love themselves. And I was like, man, I want to make a difference. But I don't really know enough about business to go out on my own yet. And so that's how I ended up at business school. And then everybody at business school was like, wait, why are you in business school? Because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to save the world. And that's one of my best friends always makes fun of me for that.
But that's business. Like, and one thing I think about business school, well, maybe not business school per se, but understanding fundamentals of business is I do feel like everybody can benefit from that to a degree because you can use that with whatever you actually like. And like, how can you make that into something where you're still, you know, abundantly making money?
Oh my God, 100. And so it's if you're transitioning, like business school is a good pivot point. And so if you are transitioning industries, if you want to switch roles, but for me, what it really did was open doors. Like it opened up my mind to see things that I didn't even know existed. Like being a social entrepreneur, my application to business school said, I want to do well and good. I want to make money, but not at the cost of making an impact in the community. But what does that look like? And I get there and they're like, oh, there's all these companies that do that. Here's all these things. And I'm like, oh,
it's a hot topic now. And it's something that wasn't really known before. But now, like, everybody wants to have some kind of aspect of social responsibility in their business. So,
yeah, definitely. So that was my transition. Let's learn a little bit about you. Where are you from?
Girl, I'm about to say, I could ask you questions all day. I grew up in North Carolina. I lived there through college. I went to Elon University where I always knew what I wanted to do, which isn't what I do, which is funny. I always knew I wanted to do something with international relations or something that had to do with travel and culture. My mom's from the Bahamas, so we used to always travel all the time. I had a lot of family abroad in different places as well. So when I was 16, I went on a mission trip to Romania for a little while. Like I learned Romanian. I still, every once in a while I see somebody, I'll be like, oh, vorbit românește. And I'll talk to them and they were like, oh, you know Romanian? Right. No, that's part of the story. And so I just love culture. I love language. So I went to Elon. I did international studies in Spanish. And after that, I was going to do a clandestine CIA program, which essentially was you work at a bank in another country or somewhere, but you really are just getting information from different people or something and sending it back. And I think this might be something that I regret, but I was like, nah, I don't really want to do this because I think at the time I was maybe at the end of a relationship or still in a relationship, and I was kind of thinking about like, yeah, I wouldn't want to have a family and, you know, that kind of thing and that kind of lifestyle. But I really thought I was 007, y'all, like I still do. And I tell that story in different places a lot, but I ended up I worked at the school I graduated from for a couple of years because I knew I wanted to go to grad school, but I didn't want to just to go. So I was kind of chilling working. And then at some point I was like, yo, this is whack. Like I'd go to work, which was at the admissions office. I would probably do like 30 minutes of work, but not because I'm just being lazy, but like you know, people, well, I mean, not talking about people with office jobs because everybody's different, but, you know, I found that a lot of people just are at work and it's like you really don't have to do that much and you're just chilling. And I just didn't feel fulfilled with what I was doing. So for me, for anybody else, if you love your job, that's awesome. But for me, I was just like, this is stupid. Like, I'm not really doing anything. Mm-hmm. I talked to some teachers, so I had to take some initiative to be like, can you help me understand, like, what path should I go? Because international studies is, like, so much to it. There's so many different paths. And when she was like, oh, it sounds like you like communications or, like, you know, the cultural, breaking those boundaries. So I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, there's a program at American University, you know, just for that. So I moved to D.C. That lined up well. And that's another thing where, you know, I love when you look back at your stories, how you're like, man, everything lined up, like, perfectly.
And you couldn't have planned it any better.
No, I couldn't have planned it. Like, I got in, because what's funny is I applied to American for undergrad, and I think they lost my application or something, because I wasn't even in the system, apparently. So I was like, dang. I was like, oh, I wanted to go there before. So I ended up going there for grad school. Went in, getting a job at the research center there, because she connected me to a professor there. And I also went in having a housing situation that was free. In Chevy Chase. So it was like a nice house. Everything was great. I did intercultural communications at school there. Ended up getting into communications, social media. Started working with people on social media projects. And so when I graduated, I just basically turned that into a business. So I was doing social media consulting and marketing, doing a lot of training, teaching, all that in the DC area. And that was 2012. And then around 2015, I was just like bored with DC. So everything was going really well, and I was doing projects, you know, across the country in LA at that time and in DC. But I just wanted to move. I avoided LA for a while because every time I came here, I was like, I don't want to get caught up in, like, you know, entertainment stuff and all that, which was fun just to come to visit. But I was like, I don't know if I want to live in that. But my middle brother was moving here because he's interested in acting and other things. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to move too. So I moved here in 2015, been here for 3 years. Everything has been pretty good. Definitely transition. Maybe that could be an episode 2 talking about transitioning to LA, because that's kind of crazy. But same thing where, you know, I have clients everywhere and just been working in the space of communications for the most part. And of course, lots of other projects, but we can save that for another time. But being heavy with social media, like, my favorite platform is Twitter. And I think that's kind of how I met you, from Twitter. Because I was like,
real quick, why is Twitter your favorite platform?
You said that like you expect me to say something crazy.
I mean, I don't know.
Are you just asking?
I'm just asking.
I like Twitter because I like to see how people think about things, and I like the conversations around things. And don't get me wrong, I know none of this stuff is real half the time, but with Instagram, I feel like it's more so like, see this, see that.
Highlight reel.
Yeah, it's even more of a highlight reel, because Twitter can be too. Like, I'm not on Twitter, you know, I'm not gonna be like, I'm depressed today, you know, necessarily. Although you can kind of have some of those conversations, I feel like, there too. But Twitter, I just like the conversation, and it's fast. And I feel like Twitter's like the heartbeat of almost like our culture here now, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, everything, like, it's so crazy to me, and how fast this has changed, where I can turn on the news, I can turn on ESPN, I can turn on anything, and at the bottom they're pulling up tweets about, you know, what people are saying, or the whole news broadcast is about somebody's tweet or something that happened online. So I'm like, wow, like, everything really is pulled from Twitter.
From Twitter. It kind of incites things, though. You say you see news stories, but a lot of them actually start on Twitter, and that's how you find out about stuff.
I find out everything first on Twitter. Like, people will hit me like, yo, did you hear that? Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. Like, or don't get me started on people trying to show you, like, memes and funny stuff, and you got to be like, I saw that 2 months ago. But we have a lot of good conversations, and I think it's a good place to cultivate kind of your circle about, like, people that you learn from. And learning is another big thing too. I feel like I've learned so much just from hearing the way other people speak about things or their experiences, because I did grow up in a very, very conservative household. And so a lot of things that, you know, even me growing up, probably till I maybe went to DC, you know, around that time, I would have been arguing this other way. That would have been incorrect, because I hadn't been around those different viewpoints. So I think being open and just being interested in the conversation there, that makes it my favorite.
Yeah, definitely. And you alluded to, which we can jump into now, how do we become friends?
I was like, this light-skinned girl keeps, like, retweeting me every once in a while. No, I think I just saw, no, that is kind of what it is. You're mad bright in your picture. And you look so happy, and you have a hair wrap on. And I was like, oh, who is this? But I think at some point, maybe you engaged in your... I feel like you engaged me because I think I landed on yours to be like, who is this? And I saw that you were a Delta. We're both sorors as well. I saw that you were a Delta. And saw, like, you know, I'll scroll somebody's... That's the first thing I do. I'll scroll a little bit, see, like, what's the last few things they said. And they were all like, yay life, or like, be the light you want to see in the world, and like stuff like that. And I was like, oh, she cute. And I was like, click. And then I think we started talking about like, yo, we need to hang out sometime. And then it was like 20 months later that I actually did.
But I mean, a lot of people talk about stuff. I think that not just LA centric, but very heavy in LA. People be like, oh, I do this, or I'm a rapper, I'm a this, and you'll ask them about the next step, and then you'll realize that a lot of people just talk but aren't actually doing anything. So the fact that we actually hung out is amazing. What's funny is you don't even know how we like really became friends because I followed you first.
That's what I'm saying. I think I looked to you, be like, who is this?
Exactly. So I had been seeing a couple of your retweets because I guess some of my friends follow you, and I know a couple of people from DC, and so they had like been retweeting you. But it was actually one of
if you say you remember like the very first thing, I'm gonna be like, Carly, you creep.
I do. I'm not a creeper though. But I saw some of your like funny tweets, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then
she tried to play me on the low, y'all. That's cool, but what else?
But then you posted your Rihanna Halloween picture.
Oh.
And so if y'all haven't seen that, go try to find it. It'll bless your day.
Scroll but I saw that, media.
Or scroll through people's favorites because it's there. But I saw that, and I was like, oh, that is fire. And so I clicked on it, and that's when I really started looking through your tweets, and I was like, oh, like, not only are you witty, but you're like exploring issues in a very genuine and transparent way, I think. And so I followed you because I was like, oh, that's cool. And you followed me back, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you were a Delta until like months later.
Girl, I don't be talking about that.
I know. I'm like a closet red.
I am a closet red, actually. Man, you know what? That Rihanna picture, people always will still talk to me about that. And it's so funny because the only reason I did that, I had just, so my hair was longer. And at that point, I just got it cut. September, October? Maybe September, I got my hair cut. And somebody yelled out of their car, like the day I left the salon. They were like, Rihanna! Because I had shades on. I was like, ooh. I was like, please. But then they were tourists or something. And I was like, oh, I should do a Rihanna costume for Halloween. Yeah. And then I just saw that picture and was like, bet. Hopped online, tried to find the little sheer blue thing. It was, for those of you who need the picture, it was the picture of her in the sheer blue robe at the window with the gun in her hand.
Is I think that the Need Me video?
Yeah, I think it was the Need Me video. And so I just I could get this stuff together. I got the little fake tattoo. I still have one more too. It was a pack of two. That's why I'm like, I need to do another Rihanna. I need to do another one. I put the stuff on, took the picture, took it off because I was not going nowhere like that for real to go like out for Halloween. But I just wanted to like, that's one thing too about online. Everybody like is trying to be the first to put their pictures up for Halloween pictures. And so it'll be like October 10th and people are trying to put stuff up. But I was like, all right, 31st, put my picture up. And then I was like, all right, I'm done with Halloween.
Yeah.
But everybody liked it. I was so happy.
It's popping. You should go find it. Like I said, it will bless your day. And like I said, that is what made me look at your tweets even more. Because I've been seeing them.
Because I'm multifaceted. Like, that's one thing I hope that people get when they look at my stuff. It's like, I'm not that person who just like retweet compliments all day. And I'm not that person who's just going to put pictures up all day. But at the same time, I will put a picture if I feel like I look good today. But then I might turn around and talk about some, like, real stuff, too, or some news or whatever else. So I try to have, like, a variation about it.
I think that's important when building, like, a brand. Like, people, because everybody has a brand now, right? Like, in every social media presence, whether you like it or not, how you appear to other people online is your brand. And so, that's the same thing with mine. I try to be very transparent. Like, yes, I am. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I'm all about love and light. But I'm also about highlighting social injustices. And I'm not scared to speak up and have the difficult conversations and all of those things. And so I think that's really reflected in social media. And I think Twitter is a better place for a lot of those things because, let's be real, Facebook, like my great grandmother or my great auntie has a Facebook.
Ooh.
And I just can't with Facebook a lot of the time.
I never log on to Facebook. And this is part of my job. I get on there maybe just to check on things, but I don't personally. Like, I think I still have lots of, like, birthday messages from, like, 2 years ago I never saw. Like, but there was a time, like, that was, like, every day logging in there, posting. I just can't with it anymore. But
and
Twitter.
The kids I work with, they're, like, Oh, Facebook is for old people.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's aunties and grandmas are on there now, so it's different. And everybody just wants to argue about politics, but not listen. I feel like Twitter's a little bit more conversational with listening, too.
And I wonder if the Facebook algorithm is set up to show you things that you'll like. Mm-hmm. And so if you're very liberal, you'll see very liberal things. If you're very conservative, you tend to have a completely different view of the same subjects. And I wonder if Twitter's algorithm is like that, too.
Well, they have a setting where in the settings you can say, show me things that you think I'll like. And I turn that off just because I like to see things as naturally as they come out, typically. But still, with promoted things, like, yeah, they'll promote you based on, like, stuff you said or done. But for the most part, you're kind of just seeing, like, who you follow. So it's still on you to cultivate, you know, who you're following and who your circle is. But I was really glad that I found you, and, like, we kept being like, oh, we're gonna hang out. And then we're like, no, we're gonna hang out. And then we finally, like, met up. And Carly is just so, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's hard because I don't want to say you're bubbly. It's not that you're bubbly, but you're just so, like, pure. Like, you're so, like, good energy. And I kind of hate saying energy. We probably say it so many times in this podcast over the episodes. But it is. So that's why I was like, yo, like, let's hang out. And then you have your own businesses and things and projects that you're working on, as well as me. So I like to be around people who, you know, they're doing their own thing. They get it. Like, we don't have to hang out every day. We don't have to talk every day. But we kind of can just be in the same room on our laptops and getting stuff done. And so part of that is why I was like, yo, you should have a podcast because you're always talking about mindfulness and wellness and just all of those different things about just living a good life, not just like externally, but like internally, what you can be doing as well. So I guess that's kind of moving into like why we wanted to start a podcast is because I was like, Carly, like, I feel like for once, and I was that person who for a long time was like, I don't really have that many girlfriends, or like, I don't hang out with girls. Mm-hmm. I was that person. But really, that was just me kind of being like emotionally slow, I guess. But also, I think it does depend on the people that are around you. So I feel like Carly like immediately felt like somebody where I feel like I could just say something wild, and she does not judge. You do not be judging, or at least not to my face. You probably go home like,
nah, girl.
This girl.
Child, I can't judge nobody just because I would have to judge myself that many times more.
Yeah, that's true. But and I haven't said nothing too wild, I don't think. But still, I was just like, you're just a good like bounce board, and I was like, man, I feel like you have so much to say and so much good like feedback around different categories. That would help people. And so that's where I got the idea to say like Carly's couch, because it's like you can go to Carly and ask her questions and talk to her, and she'll not just try to like tell you what to do, but it's like, well, why do you think that, and have you tried this? And it's like, dang, like help me work through it, like send me an invoice. That's how I be feeling. But I feel like you need like some kind of platform to like really talk about all the things you know so much stuff. So I'm hoping that our listeners will get a lot of that same value from you that I do. I hope I'm not setting this up for me to be the crazy one on here, because
we're both crazy, just letting all of
she
know
is,
right now.
Because then sometimes no, Carly. So I just said all this stuff about you being like I'm like, but Carly be wilding sometimes too. So let's not get it too twisted.
I mean, yeah, no judgment. We're both crazy. I think most people are, but not in like not in a derogatory way.
And I guess that's the point, right? Like everybody's a real person, exactly. and we're so focused right now on like, I'm this, or I'm perfect, or I'm that, or even the other way where people want to be, I think almost maybe sometimes oversharing to be like, I'm going through this and this and this and this and this, which I don't think you need to be all the way on that side either, but like we're all dealing with a lot of the same stuff.
Oh, we are all struggling sometimes. Like there are high days, there are low days, there are days when you don't want to get out of bed. Let me not speak for you. There are days where I don't want to get out of bed.
Right, and that's what I keep trying to say too. Like, let me not speak for everybody,
but I think it's like something that you said. First of all, thank you. All that stuff is super sweet, and I'm grateful for this platform. Hopefully, it helps people and creates a safe or brave space for people to share and learn. We'll be bringing on some awesome guests through different topics of life that we're exploring. We'll love feedback on things that you want explored and talked about. But it's about creating a life that doesn't just look good. Like in the era of aesthetically pleasing and Planoly and Unum and planning out your Instagram post 3 months from now, in a world where everything has to look great, we should work on feeling great. Like it's not just one or the other. And so all the topics are very life-centric. Like how can we work in transitions? We talked about that earlier. What about friends? Like different times in life call for different measures. Being an entrepreneur is really hard and sometimes can be really lonely. And so having people you can work with and dealing with anxiety and depression. And we are not medical specialists or doctors.
Nope, 0 degree.
None of those. So although this is Carly's Couch, we do want you to come get comfortable and chill and relax and learn and grow with us. But this is not medical advice. Like, that you can see.
And we'll talk about that too. Like, I have a therapist. I love talking about it now. Right. And so there's lots of things. I think as you learn more about yourself, it could be a slippery slope sometimes. I feel like the more you learn, like, you're so excited you want to tell people too. But again, people are where they are. So it's like, you can't force anybody to want to accept something or talk about something, in the same way that you do. But we're basically, I guess, just letting you know that we're open to anything that you want to talk about as far as that, and that we're going to be talking about our personal experiences with a lot of those things as well. So hopefully you identify with them, or you see space where there's something you want to delve into or discover or learn more about and grow in that area. So for sure, hit us up if there's any specific topics you want to talk about. Carly, the ones you mentioned, for sure, we're going to hit on. I mean, everything. Spirituality, life, money.
Love.
Right, everything.
Friendships, family. I mean, there's just so many things that are important. Like you said, we'll delve into it, but we're also open for growth and book recommendations, documentary recommendations. Like, I'm always reading, trying to always learn and grow. And something else you mentioned earlier is, like, questioning perspectives. Like, we both come from very conservative backgrounds and states. And so how I thought when I was growing up and all the things that I learned, like, I've spent lots of time questioning, like, why do I believe these things? Like, why is that, like, why do I have this bias?
That's all I do now.
Oh my God, I question everything. Even myself sometimes, which, that's problematic, but a process in life.
You know what? That's where I'm at now. I got to the point where, all right, first I'm cruising through believing, what I'm taught and family and what I see. Then I go through this period of, like, I'm learning things for myself in all different areas. Like I took Hebrew. Like I told you I like languages. I took biblical Hebrew so I could read the original script. And I was like, ooh, this don't say nothing like what this says, like, at all. But, like, so then I go through these periods of questioning a lot of things, which I still do. Then it goes through the self-analysis and questioning myself. And then but now I'm kind of in a space where it's like, I'm overthinking about what I'm doing and why I'm doing things. So now it's like I feel like I can't enjoy anything sometimes, because, like, I shouldn't have to think too hard. So I'm at a weird place now where it's like, all right, at what point do you kind of just chill, but you're also aware of things. But I think it just, as time goes and as I'm aware of things, I just process it more quickly. So instead of, like, feeling away and then just sitting there, and I'm like, I feel away, then I'll think, like, oh, I feel away, and then I let it process, and then I go through it. So that's good. But I'm like, dang, do I have to overprocess everything?
Oh my God. And I think that a lot of us are at that stage in life. Like, all the conversations I feel like I have with masculine friends, feminine friends, like, all of my friends are going through something where they're like, oh, is there an end to this, like, enlightenment journey? When am I going to stop learning, stop processing? And what I've, like, figured out so far for me is that it just, the bounce back time gets less and less. So something that would have basically had me crying face down, like, in my bed for, like, 3 days, now I'm like, okay, that really sucks. And then I have a moment to process, and I either need to, like, do yoga or work out or meditate or scream or do whatever. And I'm like, okay, and I'm back.
Exactly.
And we're back.
or to the whole thing, sometimes there is not that you're going through it faster, but there's some days you do feel that alignment. Like, there's some days I'm like, man, like, everything feels good. I feel like everything can wipe through, go out, like, not sit on my mind or anything. But you might bounce back and then be like, oh, I feel like a hot mess the next day. So it's just, like, weaving through those ups and downs, kind of, I think, too.
Yeah, and I think that's what Carly's Couch is a place to be real and genuine and transparent and vulnerable on.
I'm about to say, we're not going to be in here, guys, telling you, like, count back from 10 and, like, everything will be okay. And, like, I don't think we're going to give you any fairy tales type stuff. But at the same time, there are a lot of methods and there's a lot of things that are very helpful. But, just coming from a real perspective as to how to apply that to your life when dealing with real issues, too, I think.
And keeping in mind that what works for me doesn't work for Lex. And what works for her might not work for me. And what works for me today might not work for me tomorrow.
That's a thing, too. Because there's a lot of things I used to do. And I'm like, that don't work no more.
I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. And also realizing that, your life experiences don't have to look like ours. And that doesn't make them right or wrong.
Yeah, I really want to hear the feedback from listeners about, some of the things we talk about. So it's like, maybe you guys give me something new to try to think about as well. So definitely hit us with that. So that's why we started Carly's Couch. And really with this first episode, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. We want to tell you what our goal is with this podcast. And one thing we're going to be doing at the end of every episode is a question of the week. So, I'm not...
Oh, sorry. Okay, so 2 things. We actually forgot to do one thing.
What did we
Remember
forget?
the shout out?
Who we shouting out?
The thing I told you earlier.
Who we shouting out?
Oh, should I not just go do it?
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So we want to highlight, amazing things we see happening in the community or people with their businesses. So also, please feel free to share those with us too, because we would love to celebrate you and doing the amazing things you're doing. Even if you feel like nobody else cares, we care. But speaking
Carly
of,
cares. Now the bad Lex is coming out.
Here comes
Carly
Lex.
cares.
Okay. So I have a homeboy named Taylor Twins in Oak Cliff, Texas, which is a part of Dallas, and he has. That's not my hood, but that is their hood. And he's doing a whole bunch of work down there. Some amazing stuff. He has an organization called For Oak Cliff. And they're like building a community center. They do school drives, supplies, like backpacks, haircuts, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, their most recent school event, they reached out to J. Cole because he actually name dropped Oak Cliff in a song. And they were like, yo, you're actually going to be in Dallas on the weekend. Come through. And J. Cole came through.
Yeah.
He came through the event. Cole is amazing. He's one of my favorite rappers in general. But the fact that he actually does action, he puts his feet to walk in where his mouth is talking.
He's somebody who, even at his certain status, he'll still be at the gym playing basketball, hooping in Raleigh, or he'll just be out and about. And it's interesting to me because even with a particular status, I feel like people know how he is and they respect it too. They're not all over him, Because if somebody, if Kardashian or somebody walked down the street, still just about the way she is, people would still be all over her. Nobody would just leave her alone. But I guess people just let him live. They understand. He's just a real person.
And what the word that we're gonna name drop a lot, energy, and vibrations, what you put out there, people respect. You know what I'm saying, rolling up on people, whenever they're eating dinner and doing things. Because you see a lot of celebrities in random places, random ass places in LA. And there's a difference. You can just tell when they just don't want to be bothered. So don't do that.
Don't bother them.
Yeah.
But J. Cole, I do appreciate that he really does give back. And he doesn't make it a big thing. So that either. It's not hey guys, I'm going to be at this place tomorrow. He just, it's all right, just goes. And he rolls up in his t-shirt.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if he told them he was coming.
Probably didn't.
He just rolled up, but I saw Taylor posted, who's the founder of For Oak Cliff, posted the video, or one of the founders. I'm not sure, there might be more, but they're a great organization. Look them up. But I just thought that was so dope to see people actually doing work in the community, and then a celebrity coming to support that.
Yeah. Shout out to J. Cole and shout out to Taylor and his organization. Do you know the website for them or anything?
It's at, and then the number 4 Oak Cliff, I believe.
How do you spell it?
OAKCLIFF.
Okay.
Sorry, that might be the country.
Y'all, I was so excited. Oh, I just said y'all too. I'm from North Carolina, so I'm kind of Southern too.
Exactly, she talk about me.
But I don't. My accent's not as accenty. But one thing about Carly, when I first talked to her, I was like, "Ooh, girl, you making me sound like I'm not from the South anymore because yours is so Southern."
And that's the funny part is I feel like if
when I get excited, it comes out though.
Okay, I lied. So it's not the number. I just Googled it. It's for FOR space Oak _ Cliff. And that's on Facebook. I believe their Twitter might actually be the number 4 and then Oak Cliff.
Okay.
But it's funny. People out here, I've never been told that I really have a Southern accent because
really?
Where I'm from, it's not that thick unless I'm around.
I was about to say, it could be way thicker, I think.
Yeah, but one of my friends out here, one of my best friends who's from New York, she was like, "Oh, girl, you sound like a Southern belle." I'm like, "You have never been to the South because it gets way thicker than this." But I do love my y'all, and I work a lot in schools, and all the kids are like, "Miss, why do you say y'all?"
I feel like everybody hears all these different things, though. I don't think anybody really questions it that much. I don't know. People hear y'all, everybody says y'all.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's you and my homegirl who told me that I have a really thick accent. We'll see. And y'all can be that can be something y'all vote on, because Lex, it comes out sometimes too. Don't tell her I told you.
It does sometimes, but whatever. They'll focus on you and yours.
I'm sorry for the tangent, but now back to our question. We're going to end every episode with a question. Lex, hit it.
Do I have the question for me? Oh, I do have the question. So our question for this week is, what bold thing can I do today?
Whatever that means to you.
Whatever that means to you. Just something to think about. And maybe I would suggest, even if you wrote that down, like, just jot down, like, what's the first thing that come to your mind. You don't have to tell us. If you want to, you can hashtag Carly's Couch, and let us know, like, what your response to that would be. Or if you want to ask us any questions about what we think about it, is cool, too. Do you have anything that you would say for that answer? What bold thing can I do today? For that one, I think I would take that and go through the day and just kind of think about that in my mind to see if there's any opportunity where something comes up. Maybe like if I see somebody I could help, or, then I would think like, okay, I should do more than just walk past this person, or more than just, go by this situation really quickly and like take an extra minute to do something. I think I would think about it in that way. And then maybe at the end of the day, be like, okay, this is, how I approach that.
I love that. And I love that, just like art, you can like hear things or see things and then interpret them so differently. Mm-hmm. So that's beautiful, and I love that, and I'll do that today. For me, I was like, whenever you said what's one bold thing I can do today, I feel like I always like know what I need to do or what I can do, and there might be a reason I'm not doing it, or I'm questioning my decision or whatever is in my life. Like, should I tell this person this thing or take this next step? And I feel like, that could be one bold thing you can do today.
Absolutely. Oh, that is interesting, because our minds go in different places with something like that. So with you guys, let us know this week what bold thing you did or what you want to do. One thing, I said what you want to do, but one thing I started noticing with myself is I want to stop saying what I want to do or what I'm going to do or what I'm working on, and I just want to do more. Like anytime I go to pick up Twitter and be like, oh, I want to, and I always stop and like, no, like just do it, because sometimes you get that hype off of talking about what you're doing or what you want to do, and then you get a little juiced up and you're like, oh, okay,
and then you don't do it.
You feel like you did something already.
I feel like trying also needs to be removed. Like I've been trying. I removed that from my vocabulary, because we can try to do a lot of things, but when you really want to do something, you'll do it. Like no holds barred, you're just going to do it. And so take a moment, take a step back and realize what's keeping you in the trying section, and then step out of your comfort zone.
All the way out. That was good. We could keep going on tangents, but we're going to end it there for this first episode. We hope you look forward to listening to other episodes. I think as of now, we're going to drop on Mondays. You can listen to us on iTunes. We'll see about getting on all the different platforms for everybody who doesn't have necessarily iTunes or an iPhone. If you want to be a guest, if you have a specialty or you're an expert in some kind of area and you see a place where you'd love to get on this platform, we'd love to talk to you as well. You can check carlyscouch.com, CARLIES couch, if you want to send us a note or send us anything. Of course, you can hit us online, Lextopia and Carly Carpio.
Yeah, or Instagram, CC Fierce.
CC Fierce. You can tell what the difference between her Instagram and Twitter is. CC Fierce.
If I could growl today, I would.
You can.
I like
See, why are we doing this? Okay. Anyway, guys, we appreciate you sitting on the couch with us, and that's episode 1. Stay tuned for next week. We have episode 2 coming up.
Bye, y'all.